All right, V. So I think you're the first person we've had on that's actually doing third-party management for other investors, in addition to your own.
Right.
And kind of share a little bit on how you got started with Airbnb, like that very first experience and how that went, and what were some of like the big learning moments.
I think like most people, we don't really get in it. We just kind of accidentally stumble upon it, I think. So one that I intentionally bought for a short-term rental was a property in Galveston. I went down and, looked at the home and I fell in love and I wanted to keep it. And the second one was
Which is normally a mistake. Like you don't want to do that as an investor.
well, actually, that's probably one of our best performance.
Yeah. I mean, we've
Right?
had this platform provides for that. But continue.
So anyhow, the second one, this one was probably a bigger shocker than anything that I've had, and it made me realize how big of an opportunity that I'm missing out on. It's a property in the Heights, and that I couldn't sell it at what I wanted. I had it for rent, and I couldn't rent it at what I wanted either. So I said, okay, let's furnish it and let's try this thing out. And I kid you not, I couldn't rent it at long term for $3,000 a month, but we were bringing in $5,500.
Wow.
And we had people come and stay for 30 days and maybe even 60 days, 90 days. We had just group of people, and that was an eye opener for me.
So what do you think that house would have rented? Like what's a normal market rent for that house long term?
Long term, I could have rented out. This is 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably could have rented it out, right away, 2,500.
Okay.
But I was on the higher side. I was at 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
So 2,500 was
You're
the
making
long
more
term
than
rent.
double on short-term rental.
On short term, we were getting about 5,500 a month.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So what were some of the biggest learning moments? Like, man, I totally wish I knew that before turning this onto short term.
Well, I think that a lot of time, one of your guests mentioned earlier, like short-term rental existed way before Airbnb, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we all hear this Airbnb thing and we think, okay, it got to be like a destinations. It's got to be something fun. But there's so many other reasons why people come and book a stay. For this home in particular, it's near downtown and it's near the medical center. So the biggest eye opener for me was they could be anywhere. They don't have to be in anything specific. It could be a normal neighborhood, like we have one in Spring right now that perform exceptionally well. So I was.
And for those who don't know, like Spring it's not known as a vacation area. It's a community. It's a community in the north side of Houston. That's I mean. I don't want to insult it by saying there's nothing special about it, but from a destination standpoint, like you don't say, "Hey, I'm going to vacation in Spring, Texas."
Correct. And this one is about 10, 15 minutes from the airport. For people who don't know Spring area, this is north of Houston, and this one is off of Cypress Wood, that neighborhood up there. So it's getting like people book a week at a time, and it does stay fairly booked. And this one probably would have gotten 1,500 a month, on a long-term 1-year lease. Last month, I think we just sent the owner. We made them 4,300. I would say.
Nice.
For last month.
So this is one you're managing for another investor?
Correct.
Okay.
So I was so fascinated by how well we were doing. I said, why not? Because it's a lot of work.
It is.
This is easy. It's not. And whatever love you have for hospitality, it can go away pretty quickly too.
Which I always say, like, this is not a passive investment. Like financial freedom, in the sense that you can make a lot of money, and it can pull you away from something maybe you don't enjoy doing, like your daytime job. In that sense, huge opportunity. It's not passive though, because it is a lot of work. So it seems like you went that extra step to, hey, if I got to build this out, this whole management system, I might as well at least build it out the way the management side is profitable. I'll just manage other people's too. Is that right?
Yeah. So again, the okay, I started this with the intent of I don't want to be involved in the day-to-day stuff. And that's not my strength. I don't enjoy it. I want to be running a business. So I focus a lot of time in building this as a business, with a team in place to run the day-to-day operations. And my strength is to build relationship with people like you, right? To grow, to help other investor who want to maximize their earning on their second home. And that's how it got started. And yes, so I separated as a management business, and I have my holding entity, obviously, to hold the rental. So, I mean, if I can, why not? Why not capture on both sides of it and help other people, in my pursuit of my own desire.
Yeah, capitalism at its finest.
Yeah.
So, are you personally doing more of the traditional buy it, and then running your short-term rentals, or are you doing the arbitrage, or both maybe?
I I don't have any arbitrage right now, because I just haven't seen where the numbers make sense, and I'd love to learn more from Mo earlier. But we mostly we either own, or my company own the properties, or we manage for other people. And so,
Okay.
yes, I still do a ballpark of, buying, and whatever I buy, first I look at, okay, can it be a short-term rental? And then if not, can it be a long-term rental? If not, then let's sell it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's important too. If you're getting into the short-term rental game, and that is the only exit strategy you have, and at this point, I'm mainly speaking of if you're going to buy it, because that's where you've got a lot of risk. If you buy these things, if that's your only exit strategy, it's pretty risky when COVID happens, something else happens, and you just can't lease it anymore. But if you have multiple exit strategies, long-term rental, or you could sell it and you've got a good equity spread, you're pretty safe at that point. So it seems like that's what you're not looking at, hey, this is the only exit strategy. You're looking for a few different options, just that way you could maneuver as needed. Am I right?
Well, I'm looking to build a lot of passive income, right?
Mhm.
Businesses that I can run from anywhere, because I love to travel. And, we want to have homes in other cities as well, not just here in Houston or Galveston. Yes. So I have multiple exit strategy, but let me just say something on that COVID real quick. So when COVID first hit, we all thought, oh crap, this whole hospitality, the hotels are dead. So we're probably not going to get any booking, but next thing we know, April was bad. April 2020 was bad. But when May came,
It was a flood.
it
Or a
was
wave.
massive. It was like the best month ever in May,
Yeah.
right? So we thought we broke our records.
Yeah, and true. But I was speaking more of government restrictions. Like if you were in Florida, I think they had some pretty heavy restrictions, and other states, maybe even to the point where it was completely shut down. But yeah, if you could be operational, like that was the biggest stimulus you could ever get, because people still wanted a vacation. It's just they didn't want to get an airplane to do it. So if they could drive, and they couldn't get on a cruise, which meant land-based was the only way, which made Airbnb like the perfect option. It was pretty interesting. We experienced that too.